بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وقدوتنا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأزكى التسليم اللهم أعلمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. Last class was a very important class. I'll review it very quickly inshallah, and then we'll get to the exercises that we had. So previously we had an introduction to the genitive case in grammar, also known as something being majroor. Okay. What is the genitive case? It is used to, where's our slide here? Okay, 1 second. It often fits with inside a jumla ismiya. Okay, so we were learning about jumla ismiya, these sentences that begin with an ism. Okay, and its two main parts, which were mubtada and khabar, right? Loosely translated as subject and predicate. And we were starting to, we had a couple examples of different types of mubtada, right? We had our very first type of mubtada was ism al-ishara, which was a demonstrative pronoun, hada baytun, hada qamisun, and we learned hada and dhalika. And so this was a very manageable and easy like intro into this sentence structure, because we didn't have to worry about whether the first word, the mubtada, had dhamma or what other thing might be going on. But as we advanced, we learned that there are different types of words that we can use for mubtada. We can use a common noun if it is a definite common noun, meaning the student, the house, right? And then correspondingly, we had to learn, okay, how do we end this word to reflect its grammar? Okay, it needs a dhamma, all right. And how do we pronounce this word, since it has to have alif lam? And sometimes the lam is assimilated if the letter coming after it is a sun letter, and it's not assimilated into the following letter if there's a moon letter, and so on and so forth, okay? But we really only dealt with one or maybe 1.5 types of khabar, predicate. At first, our predicates were very simple, just one word. They were usually something like maftuhun, open, an adjective, right? So the al-baytu maftuhun, the house is open, right? Al-masjidu ba'idun, the masjid is far away, right? And so this was the first type of khabar. And we only sort of had a little bit of wrinkle in that when we had a different type of word, which was an ism fa'il, al-mudarrisu waqifun, the teacher is standing, right? Or jalisun, sitting, right? Which was only slightly different, but not really, even though it was different in translation. It was in Arabic essentially the same thing. So what we're getting into now is a different type of predicate, a different type of khabar from what you're used to. We're no longer going to content ourselves with a khabar that has only one word, an adjective in it. Now we're going to start using prepositional phrases as the khabar. Okay, so if you're going to say at-talibu is your mubtada, now we're going to say, where is he? He is in here, or where is the pen? The pen is on top of the table, right? So that's what we're doing. We're making our khabar just a little bit more complicated. And this complication has an impact, or it affects what's going on with the words and the grammar that they manifest. We said here over in Jumla Ismiya, we're still in Jumla Ismiya, but our early simple examples of a mubtada and a khabar, they both are in the nominative case, marfu', and they both manifest that, they show that by having a dhamma on the end. Okay, now with this type of khabar, a prepositional phrase, it's going to change that for the khabar. And we'll talk about a neat thing that one of the students brought up at the end of class that kind of will satisfy your curiosity for those of you who are really interested in the grammatical aspect of it. Okay, so the nominative case we said was about making declarations, basically is and are statements. Now with the genitive case, what we're dealing with, we're talking about possession. Not yet, it'll be next lesson. We're talking about time and place, okay? So if something is in the genitive case in Arabic, we call this majroor. And the sign of it being majroor is having a kasra on the end. Okay? So what's the formula? It's going to be after our mubtada, we're going to have the khabar isn't going to just be one word. We're going to have two words, a prepositional phrase made up of a preposition and a noun that's in the genitive case with a kasra on the end. We learned two prepositions, ala, which means on top of or on, and fi, which means in or inside. And so our examples, al-talibu fil bayti. Notice how al-talibu is the mubtada, fil bayti is the khabar. And the fact that this fi is here is going to change the ending of the noun that comes after it. It's not al-baytu, it has to be al-bayti because of the fi. Arabic grammar is kind of like dominoes. If you set up certain words, they tip over and affect the words that come after them. So prepositions are like these dominoes. They are going to affect the nouns that come immediately after them. Fi here, the preposition. Al-bayt is the noun. The genitive case is here, al-bayti. And our example with ala, al-kitabu ala sariri. The book is on the bed. Same thing, preposition ala, al-sariri, the bed. And that is essentially, yes, so we talked about these different kinds of different ways of constructing a nominal sentence, a jumla ismiya. So with that being said, let's get to the book. So what we had here was a fairly complex exercise. We'll go down and everyone will have a chance. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to read the question. That's going to necessitate you pronouncing it correctly, both the vocab word and the grammar. What's the grammar supposed to be on the end of it? And then answering it in a sensical way. And then, for good measure, I'm going to have you translate it into English as well. And if you've been busy and you haven't gotten around to the vocab, no worries. As usual, we will all work together. So, without further ado, number one, I believe that is Muhammad, the father of Ibrahim, Galaxy Note 10. You're appearing on my screen as Galaxy Note 10.
Ainul Kitab.
Oh yes, that's you. Ain al-kitabu. Very good. And what would be a suitable answer? Let's do it together. So the easy thing with this is that they're giving you already the mubtada of the answer. If the question is Ain al-kitabu, where is the book? Then you automatically know the mubtada is going to be al-kitabu. Now,
Okay.
yes. Now we're going to look for a prepositional phrase where we only know two so far. We only know fi and ala. You can pick whichever one you want and pick another vocab word where you can say it's in this or it's on that.
Ala Sarir.
Excellent. MashaAllah. Perfect. So can you translate that for us?
Where is the book? Book is on the bed.
Fantastic. Excellent job. So listen to that. I said, Ain al-kitabu, if we're going to be very, very particular, because kitabu is still in its marfu'. And then the answer, al-kitabu ala sariri. Ala sariri. With the kasra on the end because it comes after ala, which is a preposition. Excellent work. Write down the list. Brother Tamim, can you do number 2?
Sure. So, أين محمد? محمد في الغرفة أو في الغرفة.
Excellent. Thank you very much for doing that. Yes, and an Arab would never say fil ghurfati, but we're learning, and so we're making sure we're pronouncing everything correctly. And so thank you for adding that. Muhammadun fil ghurfati. And so what does that mean? Just translate it for us.
Where is Muhammad? And Muhammad is in the room.
Excellent work. Very good. So we heard how Muhammadun, which is marfu' because it's the mubtada, fil bayti is in the house. Or I'm sorry, fil ghurfati, in the room. Excellent. Let me move down here and I'll set this up and I will write in people's answers now that I don't have to scroll anymore for a bit. Next up is Sa'id. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes, that is correct. أين الساعة؟
Excellent work. Yes.
الساعة في البيت.
Good job. Translate that for us.
I don't know what ساعة means. I kind of missed a couple of classes, so.
No problem. As-sa'atu means the watch.
Okay, so the watch is in the house.
Excellent job. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for that. Sa'a can mean hour, it can mean clock, and it can mean watch, but it's most commonly used for watch. So listen to how he did an excellent job assimilating the lam into the sun letter sin. As-sa'atu. He put the correct ending on the mubtada. As-sa'atu. Fil. He ran it right into the lam, and it's pronounced because ba is a moon letter, not a sun letter. Fil bayti. Yes. Walaikum assalam, Mir. Too shy to participate? That's not a good enough excuse. No, if you really don't want to participate, I'm not going to force you. But shyness, I would encourage you to participate because you're only going to learn by making mistakes. That's the only way. In Medina, we saw time and time again the students who participated less, who were going to withhold their participation until they thought they were good enough, until they thought they were ready. They learned the slowest and they grew the slowest. And I've got, if you would indulge me in a very, very short story. No problem. A very, very short story. So I had a friend when we were still in the Arabic program. He was from Newcastle, UK. And we basically, one day, we were some of the weaker students in the class at that point. We understood, but we were very bad at speaking. And so we made a pact. We said, okay, listen, every single question that the teacher asks from now on, we are going to raise our hands and we're going to call and we're going to answer right or wrong. We're just going to crash and burn. And so we decided this and we're all excited and we're sitting front row, like good Western students. We're front and center. So who should come to class that day except one of the upper administrators that was supposed to evaluate the teacher that day? And basically what the teacher wanted to do was he wanted to call on the best students to make himself look good. So every single question he would ask, me and my friend, our hands would shoot up. We're sitting right in front of him, waving our hands, and he's looking around nervously, trying to find a student who's who's better than us to answer the question so that he can look good. MashaAllah. Anyway, so never be afraid to make mistakes. Number 4, we're down to someone from the Shahada family.
Ayan Yasser. ياسر في البيت.
Excellent.
Where is Yasser? Yasser is in the house.
Okay. Someone else from the Shahada family, do the next one, number 5.
أين آمنة؟ آمنة في المدرسة.
MashaAllah. Very good.
See, I think.
Add a little.
In المدرسة.
في المدرسة.
See.
في المدرسة.
مدرستي. مدرستي.
مدرستي. Okay.
مدرستي.
Very good. Because it ends with a tam marbuta, it's feminine. We'll get into that very soon. Good. So, Aina Amina. Aina Yasir. Where is Yasir? Where is Amina? Amina fil madrasati, in the school. Yasir fil bayti, is in the house. Very good. Now check this out. We're going to have a little bit of a different type of question here. So we've been using this question word, where. Oh, now we're going to start mixing types of question words. So Sister Masarrat, could you please do the following one, number 6?
This, you mean number 7?
This one right here, this is number 6.
Okay. آمنة في الغرفة. I should just say yes or no, right?
Good.
نعم آمنة في الغرفة وفي الغرفة.
Okay, and translate that for us.
Is Amina in the room? Yes, Amina is in the room.
Excellent job. So see what she did there. Pay attention carefully. Oh, we have a different way to ask a question. The first way that we learned to ask questions was simply by adding a hamza before the noun, which was asking a yes or no question. Ahada baytun? Is this a house? We said if you're going to, know this way of asking questions, I can drop you off in any Arab-speaking country, and you can annoy people and learn vocabulary that way. It will work. Say, ahada kitabun? Ma hada? And so on and so forth. Right? So we have what's called hamzatul istifham. It's a hamza that makes a question before amina. So we're asking a yes or no question. Aminatu fil ghurfati? Is Amina in the room? Na'am. Aminatu fil ghurfati? Yes, and you spit it right back out. Amina is in the room. Good job with that. Next up is Sister Mia. Number 7.
All right.
Do your best.
Yes. I just cannot read it without the marks.
That's okay. There's reasons why. And one of those reasons is actually really useful. So one of the things that might be going on there with this word is that this might be an unfamiliar word to you. So for example, this particular word is Yasir. Yasir is a name. Once you know that Yasir is a male's name, then now you know how to pronounce it. Whereas before you didn't. But
Okay.
other Bates, for example, you already knew how to pronounce it. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But I kind of gave you a difficult one, and I'm sorry for that. So can you let's try it. Let's keep going. Yasir.
Yasir fi lam al I don't know. Matbar. I don't know. I can't do that. Sorry. Matbar. No. He? No. I don't know.
Good job. Yasirun fil matbakhi. Excellent.
Okay.
More recent words that we learned. So definitely easy to have escaped people. Matbakh is the kitchen. Literally the place of cooking. Tabakha is to cook. Matbakh, we're going to learn about that later. How to do that fancy trick means the kitchen. Ayasirun fil matbakhi. And then so the answer, now that you know those words, Mir, now I'm going to ask you for the response. The question is a yes or no question. So what's your answer?
It's gonna be that word you wrote before.
Either
Now,
na'am or
now,
your choice.
uh,
Let's go with na'am.
okay. Now, I don't know. Sorry.
Don't apologize. Just repeat after me. So we said, Yasir fil matbakhi. So now we're going to say, na'am. That's yes.
Mhm.
Yasir fil matbakhi.
Yasir, Phil?
Yes.
I couldn't hear you. It's cutting off. That's why.
Fil matbakhi.
Phil matbahi. Okay. Okay.
We did it. So that means, is Yasser in the kitchen? And you said, yes, Yasser is in the kitchen. Excellent work. We're doing pretty good with the tech. You know, it's not easy to learn on Zoom, especially things that are requiring, you know, listening, close listening to pronunciation and things like that. But we're doing pretty good, alhamdulillah. Okay, someone from the Sayyid family, could you please do number 8?
Man fil ghurfati.
Excellent job. Nice work. And what's the answer? Translate the question. What's the question asking?
No, is room. Who is in the room?
Yes. Very good.
So Yasirun.
Yes. Yes.
Fil ghurfati.
Excellent job. And translate that for us.
Yasser is in the room.
Excellent. Fantastic. That's exactly what we're going for. They stood up on you yet again. So just used to aina, where is. Then they threw in the Hamza asking, is Amina in the room? Is Yasir in the kitchen? Now they switched it up on you yet again because they want you to remember everything that we've learned so far. And they're using a different question word. Men. Who? Men fil ghurfati. So now we're learning all the different types of questions that we can ask with these prepositional phrases. We can ask where something is. We can ask yes or no questions about what is in or on something. And we can ask who is in or on something or what is in or on something. So that's exactly what this exercise is designed to kind of get you thinking along those lines. Men fil ghurfati. Who is in the room? And as you said, Yasirun fil ghurfati. You answer with Yasir is in the room. We have a question in the chat. Last week we learned that the khabar has to be nakira. Ooh, that's going to be a nice, juicy tangent I can go off on at the end of class. We'll get through at least this exercise, inshallah, and then I will address that, inshallah. So, Brother Muhsin, can you please do number 9?
Sure. Waman fil hamami. Muhammadun fil hamami.
Yes, excellent work. Now, can you translate that for us?
And who is in the bathroom? Muhammad is in bathroom. In the bathroom.
Excellent work. So listen to how he used men, and that's a great question from Tamim. We're going to, that one is, we can answer in just a second, inshallah. Woman fil hamami, and who is in the bathroom? So-and-so is in the bathroom. He recognized that men is asking us for who. Now we have a question in the chat. How do you differentiate between men and min? How do you know it's not? Yes, sure. If anybody would like to try to answer it, take a shot. Either in the chat or via microphone. If the noun is a person.
Because
Yes.
Because of the fee.
Yes.
Because of the word fee, man fee.
Yes.
Because fee has a kasra in it. That's why.
Okay. Very good. So what we have here is men is a question word, meaning who. All right. And min is another preposition, which means from. Okay. Now, is it possible that two prepositions could follow each other from in the room? It's not possible. So because we have fee here, we know by default that it has to be something else. It has to be. No, that was a good try. That was a good try, mashallah. But the real reason is that we don't use multiple prepositions in a chain to ask or to make any statements. Right? So because of the context, because we have fil hamami, it's only possible that it's a different type of question word that's asking who, men fil hamami, as opposed to min. But this is exactly, thank you for the question, Tamim, because this is exactly the type of question that shows us how we will start to read without having the kasra, the fatha, the dhamma. If you understand the sentence structure, you understand something of the grammar, you realize it can only be men. It's not possible for it to be min, because a preposition has to be followed by a noun. It can't be followed by another preposition. So because of that, we know fi is here, and so it has to be men. Excellent. We're down to the Sheikh family. Someone from the Sheikh family, can you do number 10?
ماذا على المكتب؟
Excellent.
الكتاب على المكتب.
Fantastic. What does that mean?
What is on the table? The book is on the table.
Excellent job. Very good. So now we shifted gears again. Instead of asking who, we're asking what. And listen to how she added the kasra at the end of the noun following the preposition ala al-maktabi, because it is majroor. It is majroor. Very good. Someone else from the Sheikh family, do number 11 for us.
ماذا على السرير؟
Yes.
الساعة على السرير.
Fantastic. And can you translate that?
What is on the bed? The watch is on the bed.
Fantastic. MashaAllah. Great job. Let's keep rolling. Okay. So we have اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. Read and write with the correct ending. Anytime it says to write, that should be, if you have time during the week, something that you can try to do for homework. Right now, let's run through these reading to try to get used to how the endings change. So going back to the top of the list, Abu Ibrahim.
Al-madrasatu.
Excellent. So listen, he said al-madrasatu. He knows that it's by itself, and so it has to have dhamma. It has to be marfu'. Sister Masarrat, can you do the next one?
في المدرسة.
Yes. Excellent. Comes after a preposition. Has to have the kasra. Sister Mia, can you do the next one?
Yes, it's fil baiti.
Excellent. Good job. Comes after a preposition. It's going to have a kasra at the end. Someone from the Sayyid family.
Al-baytu.
Yes. Fantastic. No preposition. Dhamma at the end. It's very simple. Someone else from the Sayyid family.
Al-ghurfatu.
Yes. Excellent. Sheikh family, your turn.
Al-hammami. No, al-hammamu.
I caught you. Yeah, very good. Al-hammamu. But that's good because actually, I'm really glad that that was just a slip of the tongue, because we realize now that it can't be al-hammami unless there's something to make it with a kasra at the end, right? So now we see that these things, they're caused by things, right, in the sentence. And so we know that it can't be that unless there's some sort of thing that would cause that to happen. Okay, very good. So someone else from the Sheikh family?
Fil hammami. Oh, Fil matbaqi.
Yes, very good. In the kitchen. Excellent. Moving down, we have Brother Sa'id. This one right here. If he's with us.
Al-maktabu.
Yes, fantastic. Al-maktabu. Brother Tamim, the next one.
على المكتب.
Yeah, fantastic. Moving right along, Shahada family.
على الكرسي.
Very good. على الكرسي. Oh, let's do that. Let's look at that for a second. It's kursi with a shadda, and normally, if without ala, it would be al-kursiyu. But because of ala, the letter has to now have a kasra underneath it. Ala al-kursiyi. Wasi'a kursiyuhu, because it's marfu' in ayat al-kursi.
Okay.
Ala al-kursiyi. Good. Someone else in the chat, family?
As-sariru.
Excellent. Good. As-sariru. And then arum. Could you do the next one? Is that arum, if you're able to participate?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. Assalamu alaikum. Alal kitabi.
Fantastic. Al kitabi. And you're at the end of my list, so can you do the last one too, please?
Oh, okay. Fil masjid. Fil masjidi.
Yes, excellent. Fil masjidi. Excellent. And listen to how she put that kasra on the end of here and the end of there, because they are followed by prepositions. Excellent work, everybody. We are getting the hang of it. Okay, we have a next exercise and only 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to explain some of the questions that were asked before. That actually dovetails into what I had wanted to clarify earlier anyway. And then I will ask you all to do this as a homework exercise to practice, both reading and writing. You're going to be focusing on the correct endings. At-talibu fil jami'ati. And some of the words will be unfamiliar to you, perhaps, like al-jami'a means university. But we'll go over them next class, Inshaallah. Yes, we'll go over them next class. So, one of the questions that we had was, we learned before that the khabar, the predicate, is nakira, is indefinite. And so, if we look at the construction of many of these sentences, we have, let's see if I can get to a positive example here. All of them have alif lam in them. Here, fil matbakhi, al matbakhi. Huh? Huwa ala al maktabi. Oh no, we have alif lam. So what is the issue here? Well, there were several things where I said in the beginning, there are some half-truths that I will give to you as training wheels in the beginning, because to enter into some of the finer points or more advanced examples would be too much information too soon. So for example, and I'm not trying to scare you all, it's actually not that difficult. But right now you guys are all like marfu', dhamma. Dhamma means marfu'. Dhamma marfu', dhamma marfu'. That's not always true. There's different types of words that manifest the nominative case marfu' with different ways. Not with kasra, not with, it's not going to be crazy, but there's going to be other ways to do it. So in the beginning, to make it easy and understandable, and to give you the predominant case, the usual case, usually always the mubtada is marfu', and usually its case is represented by a dhamma. Okay, so when I said that the khabar, when I said that the mubtada is ma'rifa, is definite, and the khabar is nakira, that is not always true. Neither of those statements are always true. There are times, they're not very common, but it's possible that the mubtada can be nakira. We will get into those examples later, inshallah. And there are times, and this is slightly more common, where the khabar is actually ma'rifah, right? If you are asking, if you look at the meaning behind all of these words, huwa ala al-maktabi, if ma'rifah means definite, known, and nakira means indefinite, unknown, then of course the mubtada here is known. And even here, the khabar, the predicate is also known. We know what room we're talking about. So this is an example where, in fact, the khabar is not nakira. But, the reason why it's useful to teach the khabar as nakira is when we're dealing with those early examples that are made up of two words, right? Al-talibu. What do we want to say? Al-talibu waqifun. Okay. First of all, to get you to realize that whether it's nakira or ma'rifah does have an effect on the ending of the word. The sign of it being nakira has a tanween, whereas this doesn't have a tanween. Okay. And also to realize where the meaning crosses over with this type of khabar, how we communicate the concept of is. How do we know we're making a declarative statement? I'll show you something a little bit maybe that illustrates that. What if we were to put an alif lam on this khabar, okay, directly without a preposition? It would be, if I could write correctly, al-talibu al-waqifu. Okay? Instead of al-talibu waqifun. This here is a subject and an adjective. It is not a complete sentence. This literally means the standing student. ... It needs something else to complete it as a thought and as a sentence. Okay? Whereas if it does not have alif lam, if it is nakira, now we're making a declarative statement. Al-talibu waqifun. I think we learned the word mujtahid, hardworking. So all I have to do is add any nakira noun here as an adjective, and now I've completed the sentence. At-talibul waqifu mujtahidun. The student, literally the standing student, we would say in English, the student who is standing, mujtahidun, is hardworking. Okay? So knowing the difference between nakira and ma'rifah and associating the khabar with nakira is essential for this type of khabar and this type of construction of the jumla ismiya. It's not essential. In fact, it's not even useful at all, really, in this type of construction where we're using a prepositional phrase, because a prepositional phrase implies that you know what you're talking about. I mean, you could say it's on a table somewhere, but you're usually, normal usage, you're going to say it's on the table, that one there. Okay, is that much clear? this gets us into another issue, which nobody has called me. Oh no, one of the students did call me out on it, where I said in the slides that the nominative case, mubtada being ma'rifa, is a preponderance and not a rule. It's a default. Mubtada being ma'rifa. Khabar being nakira is not a rule. But it is a rule if our khabar is an ism, just without any prepositional phrase attached or anything like that. That helps us distinguish between an adjective phrase versus a complete sentence. The second thing, let me know if that's not clear. The second thing is that, okay, you told us that mubtada ma'rifa, the mubtada is marfu' and the khabar is also marfu'. Okay? But now we have a talibu fil ghurfa or fil bayt, whatever you want. It's a small ta. Fil bayti. And you said that the genitive case was talking about the relationships between nouns, space, time, and possession. It's true that this is a prepositional phrase, and so we see al-bayti. But isn't it still the khabar? Aren't we still saying the student is, big is? We're still making a declarative statement. So where does the marfu' go? Where does the nominative case go? Oh, this is a very good question. If we treat these words, each individual word by itself, then this is in the genitive case, as we can tell by the kasra. Okay? But if we treat the entire prepositional phrase as one unit, then the entire prepositional phrase is considered marfu'. It is in the nominative case, but it doesn't show it. It doesn't show it because it's affected by the preposition. So for all my fellow grammar nerds, if this doesn't make any sense to you, do not worry about it. But for anybody who was bothered by this, and I'm glad if you were bothered by it, say, wait a second, this is still mubtada khabar, and the khabar is marfu'. Yes, the khabar is marfu'. But we have something affecting the normal order of business. The preposition makes the following noun into the genitive case, majroor, and we just say that the entire unit of the prepositional phrase is marfu', even though we can't see any sign of it being so. Does that make sense? And does anybody have any questions before we dismiss? By the way, for the Shahada family, I looked up tufah, like for the asl. I couldn't find anything on it except other than obviously the fruit. So, for example, in Mu'jam Maqayis al-Lugha, where he usually has quite a discussion about the different root permutations and combinations, all he literally says is, yeah, this is one root, it's for apple. That's it. So I couldn't find any other sort of words that were built off of it or from which it was derived or anything like that. Anyone, any questions, anything not clear? Everybody's doing a great job. It's not essential that you understand all the ins and outs of the grammar in order to follow along, memorize the vocab, and keep on doing the good job that everybody's doing, right? As long as you're able to understand half of, or less, a quarter of the exercises that we're doing, especially if your not understanding is merely just not knowing the vocab word, that's easy. That's an easy fix, right? And so don't get discouraged. Everybody's doing fantastic. Arabic is a a deep, rich language. And so for those who are curious and want to know more, there is much more to be said about these simple constructions that we're making. But it's not necessary to know all of those things in order to have a functional understanding of Arabic. So thank you everybody very much for your time and your participation. And inshallah, I will see you next time.
Is it Saturday or
Yes.
is it Saturday or Wednesday?
I'm sorry. I'm having
Next class.
the next stuff.
Next class is Saturday or Wednesday?
Next class is Saturday. So every week, twice a week, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, twice a week.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Amin wa yakum. Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum.